Yeah, it has. It's been a little crazy, just a little bit. Um, but we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yep.
So all good. Let me just let me just get this link set up and shared, and then we could start moving along, yeah?
Hmm.
How's your week so far?
It's been good. It's been
Yeah?
good. So I'm getting ready to go on a 14-day cruise, you guys.
14-day cruise?
Yeah.
When?
Sunday. I'm leaving Sunday. I'm just a little bit nervous just in case we don't have as great a reception. So we always get internet when we're on the cruise, but it's not the greatest because we're in the middle of the ocean.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, other than that, I look forward to a little bit of a break here before the holidays.
You're going on a 3 hour tour.
You say you're going on a 3-hour tour?
No, I said that's what Lisa's doing. She's going on a 3 hour tour like Gilligan's Island.
When you put it that way, Charles, it doesn't sound fun at all, bro.
Well, they were supposed to be having a good time, and then all that stuff. Man,
They got stuck for
hurricane.
years.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I was
hurricane.
like, why does that sound so familiar? But geez, Louise, Charles, I don't even know if Chia knows that. Chia, do you even know Gilligan's Island?
Nope. No
Yes,
idea.
see?
I'm just saying, I'm just doing this.
Thanks,
Uh-huh.
Charles. You
Yeah.
just super aged us.
Wow.
I have no idea what
That's
that
all
is.
right.
And plus, well, it's probably not, it has nothing to do with age. It's probably just the fact that I just don't go anywhere, like I've never gone on a
No,
cruise
No,
and
everybody
anything like
no.
went
that.
on Gilligan's Island, dude.
It's a classic show, Chia, but you have to be our age to know.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
that's only like, another year, so like I'm not really missing much.
That's true. Which is funny because, like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I've watched TV in the last decade. I don't know what's on right now. I have no idea what music is happening.
I have specific
Um,
things that I watch. I don't watch the actual TV or listen to the radio. Like I typically will listen to the music that I remember from before, and every now and then I'll get a glimpse of something that's new, and then I'll be like, oh, okay. Other than
Yeah,
that,
I think you and I are the same in that way. It's just it's weird. I almost feel like my parents, like a boomer, like I'm so behind on what's happening with our generation these days.
yeah,
you're not missing much. I don't think anybody watches TV nowadays. Everybody's on their phones, Like I was telling my wife, like, what's the point of getting a TV when the only person that's watching it is baby and we're all on our devices? Everybody has their own
Yeah,
TV right here.
I
And
know.
I think that's not gonna change. It's gonna probably get worse. Everybody's
no, next
getting away from the living room and the
mhm.
TVs.
Next thing that's gonna happen is it's just gonna be in your brain. You're gonna have one of them little things that comes like this, and it's like right in your eye, and just like
Yep. Or a chip in
you
your
know,
brain. Yep.
yeah. No,
Yeah, because
seriously.
well, we already have those smart glasses. Have you guys seen those? Those are hecka
I
cool.
heard. I
Mhm.
heard.
It's
I've
so
seen
cool.
it
Those
on YouTube.
glasses are so cool. So like,
Have
I
you
mean, it
tried it
doesn't.
yet, Gia?
I have. I've tried
Yes.
it. The only thing I don't like about it is
Yeah.
it makes you because you know how you're focusing on the little small screen that's literally right here,
Yep.
and I don't know, it kind of strains your eyes.
Oh, I bet. I mean, even when you're on the phone alone, right? It strains your eyes
Uh-huh.
already. But but we're so used to our eyes being strained that we have to accept it that that's the norm. And then now we gotta have something else that we're gonna accept as the norm. That's just crazy.
Yeah. So, but the refresh rates and the clarity on these devices that are so small are getting more and more clear to the point to where your eye can't really see the. Eventually, it's gonna get to a point to where you can't even see the difference between the real world and what's on your glass. Technology is just
No,
crazy.
I don't know about like that though.
it's inevitable.
Yeah,
It's inevitable. I mean, look, Tesla just released. They're releasing 2 new vehicles. It's autonomy,
I know. I know.
right? You saw the cab, the bus cab. You saw
Mhm.
all that. It's
I know.
crazy.
I know. It's just so
Uh-huh.
crazy to see. I mean, can you imagine somebody that has lived so much longer than we have and see so many changes in every single decade of this century? It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna
Interesting.
be it's gonna be one of those. But let's
RoboCab,
stop.
huh? Hmm.
Yep, yep. That's all coming. But let's
Wow.
not go off topic. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Go over market updates real quick for our viewers, and then let's talk about today's topic. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Let me just do this. Okay. See, inventory starting to flat out. Look at that.
Fourth
New
quarter.
listings. I know. I know. Can you believe it? We're already in October.
Hmm. We're
Yeah,
heading
it's
into
crazy.
2025 soon.
Last quarter, y'all. Going by, it's gonna
Mhm.
go by freaking quick too. So I just finished my taxes.
Don't worry, Tia. So did I 2 days ago.
Oh
We
yeah.
closed our tax
I
account
just
last
finished
week.
my taxes for 2023. Oh my gosh. Okay, inventory is a little bit down from last week, 1%. New listing is also down 8%. Sold home is up almost 2%. Pending home is down 2%. Now, from last month, inventory is down almost 2% from last month. New listing is up though by 2%. Sold home is also up 4%. Pending homes are up 18% from last month. So, okay, that's good. Now, same time last year, this year inventory is higher by 40%. New listing is higher by 32%. Sold home is also higher by 21%. Pending homes are up 41%. Um, Year to date, inventory 40% more, 20% more new listings this year than last year, 4% more homes this year than last year, and 7% higher pending homes this year than last year. This is very interesting, you guys, because you know how people are saying the market's slowing down, um, who's buying, etc. We have 20% more sold homes this year, this time than last year. 20% more. Yes, we have more inventory too compared to last year. But until when sold home starts going down consistently, this is just me saying it, and pending homes are down consistently month after month, uh, but inventory is going up, that's when you're gonna start noticing shifts. But then right now, like there's still activity basically. Okay, there's still activity going on. Buyers are buying, sellers are selling. Because look, listings up 32% this year than last year, same time. And we're in the fourth quarter, y'all. Fourth quarter. Let's go over the average price per square foot. Average price per square foot is up from last week by 4.8, and from last month is up 3.2%. From last year, it's up 2%. And year to date this year is up 3.3% from last year. So that's 10 months worth of data right here on the days on the market. Ooh, look at that. Going up a little bit. So 38 days on average this week versus last week was 33 days on average. So if we went into the 30-day mark after the 15th of September. So, okay. Homes are staying on the market longer, and it's pretty normal around this time. Homes do stay a little bit longer. This month, on average, homes on the market is like 34 days. Last month, 24 days. Last year, oh, okay, 26 days last year, 34 days this year. But on average, okay, year to date, this year, 10 months average, it's 28 days. Last year was 32 days. I mean, again, 4 days, it's not a lot by much. So the market's still very quick, okay? It's definitely not a buyer's market yet. For a lot of you guys wondering, it's still not a buyer's market yet. Homes are still going fast. Are you feeling that too, Lisa, on your side?
Yes, absolutely. It is, I mean, when the rate started going down last month, okay, everybody started coming back. The people who have been on the fence a little bit started to come back, seeing that trend and everything like that. But remember, 3 weeks ago, I did tell you, I don't think it's going to be like that for a while. I told you guys that, right?
Let's not jump the gun, Lisa. We'll
Okay,
talk
okay,
about
sorry.
that
It's this,
after.
yeah.
But yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Lisa's getting
Yeah.
a little bit excited to talk about today's topic. But we'll talk about that after this. What about you, Charles? Like inspections are gone up, like pre-inspections, etc.
Done some pre-inspections definitely, but the biggest thing is the timing is still, the closings are so quick still. I got one that I just did yesterday, and I remember hearing the agent mention, their closes next week. The house is vacant, it's cash, so it's quick. But yeah, I mean, just really quick turnarounds, less than a month, all the time.
Yeah, so me and my wife, we stage homes, right? And I swear for the past couple of weeks, the homes that we've been staging have been on the market for like maybe 2 weeks. Like they're calling us saying, "Hey, come get the stuff." You know what I mean? So it's like, well, we just staged that home, and some of these homes are like in Southland Park, um, and like they're going. If they're getting marketed right, and some of these homes don't. Mind you guys, a lot of times people stage homes because they want the they want the home to look good because it's probably not updated. When it is updated, it shows a lot better. But then most of the time, we get people that stage their homes because it's dated, and these homes are going so fast, cash. So yeah, marketing is very important, y'all. Still, okay. Active prices share. I mean, this week is up just a slight 0.4. Sold price this week went up almost 6% from last week. Wow. Okay. 6%, huh? From last month, just a slight here, 0.2%. Sold prices up. Active prices down though, 3% almost. Same time last year, active prices higher last year actually, 716 versus this year 692. Sold price this year is up 2% versus last year was 611. Okay. Now year to date this year is up 4.5% versus last year 583. Okay. So on average, homes are still going up. Okay. Yes, it's on the market a little bit longer, but here's one thing I'm noticing too. Like some homes that's sitting on the market, when they do price reductions, it starts getting activity again, right? And then it starts bidding back up again to the original price that it's been on the market for. So like I don't know, it's kind of funny, right? When you think about that, they
Yeah.
reduce the price, and then now a bunch of buyers come in and look at it, and then now they compete, and then it gets overbid again. But when it's on the market for that same price, nobody looks at it. So it's interesting. The psychology behind all of that is so interesting, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go over to Inventory. Months worth of inventory. Look at that. We have 2.2 months worth of inventory. No change from last month. It is higher than last year. We already know that by 37%. Year to date, 2 months worth on average. And last year it was 1.5. Still not a lot of inventory. Okay, that's still in the seller's market range. It is getting up there to where it's more balanced, but it needs to be consistently 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Okay, in order for it to be very balanced, and then that's when you start noticing prices will probably level out. But for right now, inventory is still slightly low for a seller's market, and I mean, you guys saw it, you know. Sold price is still up, so definitely everything is still kind of on the rise. Okay, now let's talk about mortgages. Okay, Lisa, go for it.
Oh my goodness. Remember, I mean, the Feds were talking about lowering the Fed rates and whatnot. Again, it doesn't always correlate to mortgage rates, you guys. Okay. And with the situation in Lebanon and Israel, it really did take a hit. Oil prices did go up, and this is where it really makes a huge difference as well. As oil prices go up, so did mortgage rates. We were looking at the very low 6% 3 weeks ago when she and I was talking about this. Now, 30-year fix, we're looking at 6.62 on average. Look at the FHA rates. Okay, it's at 6.12, whereas 3 weeks ago, it was sitting at 5.625, you guys. Okay, so it is favorable for you. Don't wait. Don't wait until it gets lower. I had a lot of people looking to refinance during that pipeline, and a lot of people from that last year. However, the difference was it wasn't like they missed the boat or anything, guys. A lot of people that I priced out, they just didn't build up enough equity, so they didn't have to come out with closing costs and things like that anymore. So if you felt like, hey, I should have refinanced, don't worry about that so much. If you haven't built up that equity, it may not have made sense for you to once again, repay for all the closing costs and everything like that to refinance.
Man, that's so crazy how it was at 5.5 FHA, now it's at 6.1. That's like
Yeah.
that's half a point.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is it's probably going to get crazier. It's projected to go down even further at the end of this month. But again, that's projected. Okay, guys, I'd be very wary if you are able to, if the numbers look good, right? And I tell my clients this all the time. I want you to fall in love with the monthly payments before you actually fall in love with the house, right? And then that way, up or down a little bit, hopefully it doesn't make that huge of an impact in your life. Because either way, we say this all the time, you're going to be paying the mortgage for your landlord or for yourself. It may be a little bit more harder now, but if you're able to stick it out and everything like that, once you're a homeowner, you can always refinance later on. Don't depend on it. Chia, earlier you showed us the data. The data is always intrigues me. Inventory is up this year, and one of the things that I've seen so far, guys, is people are coming back and saying, even though they've only bought the house for a year, 2 year, they're telling me that the escrow has changed. What that means is their property tax, their home insurance has gone up already. And again, these are people who've only bought a year or two ago, not to scare you guys. But because of that, I want you to cushion a little bit more cushion in the event that that does happen. And a couple of my people are already looking to sell already. And I can see if I'm seeing that on my end, it's probably across the board. And loans are closing a little bit later because once that rate started to go down last week, our pipeline is so busy. Okay, our underwriters are so busy, their turn time is a little bit longer right now.
And just for those that are curious, okay, so last week, so this week, right, interest rates at 6.1, just to give you guys an idea, this is not going to be 100% accurate, but 6.1 this week, right? So if you were to buy a home at 450,000 FHA, your monthly payments are around 2,700. Again, these numbers might not factor in everything, but then just to give you an idea, last couple of weeks, 2,500. Okay, so how much is a few $100s for you? I mean, again, mortgage rates is one of those things you can never guarantee is going to be at that same rate this week, tomorrow, by lunch. It's gonna go up and down. You guys hear say it all the time. Like, yeah, we go over this with you guys in the beginning, but we don't want you guys to take this number and be like, hey, saw this on Chia Talks. Let's lock it in with our lender, and then the lender gives you a totally different rate. Credit score, DTI, area, everything is gonna have a factor. Remember that, the time of the day. So just be wary. I think that I think that the rates leading up to, again, elections, which is in like a few weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Leading up to elections, I think it's gonna keep going up. I think it's gonna keep going up. Um, and then after that, depending on who gets office,
It's a
it'll
very
probably
polarized year.
it'll probably smooth out from there, depending on who
It
gets office.
depends. Exactly. It depends on who, who's going to be in office.
Hmm.
And keep in mind, guys, 2 months ago, we were sitting at 7%. Okay. So we're still lower than that. We're still lower than that. Um, if it's favorable, I would say don't wait. It is in the fourth quarter. You might get in a little bit better because it's going to be less competitive. Um, and hopefully it'll be favorable for you.
Yeah, July. July was when we were in 7%.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the highest was here. That was October. That was like almost 8%
Last year.
last year. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
8%, almost
Mm-hmm.
8%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gone down quite a bit, and so you look at the chart, right? It's not up there by the sevens yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets back up there leading up to elections.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, economists, they're kind of saying that they're they're projecting rates are gonna go down for 2025. It's gonna keep going down
Right.
for 2025. But again, nobody has a crystal ball. Um, and that I feel has a lot to do with who's in office. Again, who's gonna be
Absolutely.
in office? That's gonna affect everything. Now, I think there's pros and cons to both, though. Like depending on who's in office, if rates do end up being more favorable to majority, like it goes down, prices are gonna go up. Okay, so like again, just going back here, so that way you guys can kind of have an idea. If it's at 5.5, right? Your payment is 2,500, right? For a home that's $450,000. If this goes down, let's just say it goes down to 4.5, okay? This home might be going for 500K now. So it ain't changed the monthly payments by much. That's like what, $20 a month? So like remember though, with 500,000, your down payment, your closing costs, everything goes up too. So if you're waiting for the rates to be more in favor for you, what I would suggest you do is if you already know that you're going to be buying a home because you want to get out from the renting world and you want to start owning your own house, get in ASAP because at least you'll be paying off this loan amount while you're waiting for this to go down.
Right.
And then when this goes down, you could always refinance or do a streamline, like what Lisa was mentioning earlier about if you have enough equity, you won't have to come out of pocket anything because it's going to be part of the loan, right, Lisa?
Right. And the
Where they,
streamline is done on an FHA loan. And keep in mind, guys, this payment that Chia is pricing out for you guys, it looks really good, right? Keep in mind, this is just payment and interest. There's no property
yeah,
tax and
again,
insurance
this is
on it.
very simple mortgage calculator. Again, that's why I made a disclaimer earlier. You still have to include your taxes, your Mello-Roos, your utilities, your all of that. If you're putting under 20% down payment, your mortgage insurance needs to be added in there. So again, this is a very simple calculator that's on Google. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a picture to see the difference in rates and price. That's it, okay? Yeah, so all of this right here, like you could do that on your own, okay? But this is just for demonstration purposes only. Don't say that Chia says if I buy a $500,000 home, I'm getting 2,500. I did not say that, okay? Big disclaimer, big old disclaimer, okay? But yeah, that's gonna be the mortgages, y'all. Like, if you guys have any suggestions or if you guys have any comments towards rates going up, going down, what's your prediction? What you think is gonna happen? I am curious. I do want to kind of hear it in the comment section, and then maybe we could carry the conversation there as well, depending on which way you go.
Right. I mean, how many times have you guys heard from all across the board, right? Hey, rates are going to go down this year. The rates are going to go down. I mean, I kept more than 2 handfuls that they told us in this industry that's going to be that way. And there's so many of, our colleagues, all across the board and whatnot. It's like, okay, let's hold off on that. I'd rather be safe than sorry, guys. If you're already in contract, lock your loan. If you don't wait for that. Seen loans fall apart because of that. I actually had to go back to the Bay Area to pick up a new client of a sibling of another client that I was actually about to close and whatnot. And I had to go back down there, restructure the loan, do everything that I possibly could because they were already in escrow for 2 weeks and they waited. Not only did they wait, but they didn't have all of their ducks lined up and whatnot. So I had to go all the way down there, help them with the paperwork just because they weren't familiar with how to structure it properly. And I was like, all right, okay, let's go ahead and complete this and do all of that.
Oh, we got a comment. I'm curious about the 60-day grace period when your loan is sold. Does this only apply when you make the payment to the original lender by mistake, or can you really just take the full 60 days to make the first payment to the new lender? Lisa, that sounds like a Lisa question.
So the grace period, usually typically the grace period is based on if you make a late payment or whatnot. Okay, it doesn't matter if the loan is sold or not. Typically lenders will give you a 60-day grace period because a lot of times it takes a while for the servicing lender. So here's the difference. When you get your loan, okay, that lender may not always be the one that's servicing your loan. Servicing your loan meaning the lender that you're going to make that payment to every single month. However, okay, because sometimes it takes a little bit of time for them to transition hands, and even if they did service their loan, they're going to give you that grace period most of the time. Again, I say most of the time because not all lenders will do that. And that's so that you can have that time to, hey, we didn't get a chance to generate your statement. That doesn't mean you do not owe that amount. Typically, when you sign your loan documents, they typically will give you 2 temporary payment stubs. So in the event that you don't get that, you use that to mail that in. And if there is a exchange in servicing lender and whatnot, okay, again, that paperwork may take a little bit longer. If you had already paid the first lender, okay, during that transition, that lender is supposed to transfer that payment over to the new lender. And if they have not had a chance to do that, okay, this is where it may get a little bit confusing and it can be a little bit stressful for first-time buyers. A lot of times they don't know that They don't look at their notifications. If you put in your email, and when you do sign your loan documents, or if you do your loan with your loan officer and you give them a junk email instead of a really regular email where you're actually checking to see, hey, do you have any notifications? Because they'll send it to you in your email, they'll send it to you via regular mail and whatnot. Okay, after that 60-day grace period, it's going to be a lot harder for you to fight and say, hey, I want to get my mortgage rates off, things like that. So be very, very cautious. Still talk to your loan officer afterwards. Still have that connection with your loan officer. They can absolutely help you with things like that.
Speaking of servicing mortgages, sometimes, like, I've had clients that will call me, Lisa, and they'd be like, man, my loan servicer changed like 3 times this year.
Yeah.
So like it could happen, and I think one of the questions I get a lot too when that happens is my payment changing, or did all of the payments I made to the original servicer gone now? What about that?
So no, it's not gone, guys. Okay. When they exchange that, once you sign your loan documents, whoever buys it, think of it this way. You know how when we as consumers flip houses in the back end of lending, they flip loans sometimes. So if you think of it that way, okay, it's going to be the same for you. The only time that it changes is, and again, a lot of times people don't realize, like, sometimes when it changes, they may not have collected enough property taxes. And then all of a sudden I say, hey, your payment's going to go up. I was like, hey, wait a minute. I signed my loan documents stating that my payment's going to be $3,000. How come it's now $3,200? Because somewhere along the line, your home insurance changed, your property tax changed. They didn't account for certain things, especially if you buy a brand new build home. Okay, so a lot of times when that does change, they didn't that tax changes significantly. That's going to make a difference. Okay, and you think it's because the servicing is charging you more. No, it would have naturally been that way, even if it didn't exchange hands that many times. So when the loan gets flipped or bought out by another servicing lender and whatnot, okay, be very careful of that. I don't recommend, and I don't recommend for your mortgage right now, because the market is so volatile, don't do automatic pay, because a lot of people do it automatic pay, okay, and they don't think about it. I've had clients that had this situation, had to wait 12 months in order for them to get another house because of this exact situation where it's automatic pay. And if they forget to take it out and whatnot, or they make that payment to the previous lender, this person, and you don't pay attention because, again, you use a junk email, not getting those notifications and everything like that, and your mortgage is now late to the new servicer. It's going to be a pain to fight that on your credit report, because technically it is your responsibility to be up on your own mortgage.
Yeah, like, make it a habit to log in to your servicer portal like every month. Every month, or at the minimum every month. But if you could do more, like every 2 to 3 weeks, just check. Kind of like you check your balance every day, like make it a habit to just make it a routine to check all of that, because then you just never know. Kind of like what you mentioned earlier, Lisa, like sometimes we get all these emails, right? And we don't check it, and the algorithm for our email provider thinks it's a spam or junk mail, and then they move the file automatically thinking it's a spam, and then we don't ever see it. I know that happens to me a lot. I'm like, where's the email? Like, I could have sworn I saw emails before, and then you go in the junk file, it's all there because they think you're not checking it, so they just conclude it's junk mail. All these algorithms making decisions for you. So like, just make it a habit so that way you're not late and you don't shoot yourself in the foot. Ooh, I want to share this with you guys. This is interesting. This is in Sacramento, y'all. Homeowner turned disaster into a stunner. See Vamp Sacramento Mid-Century Treehouse. Earlier this year, Matt Jones took on the restoration of the Sacramento area home in such a bad condition that he describes the property as disaster. All you flippers out there, y'all. The late 1970s mid-century modern home had been neglected for years. There was dry rot, uneven floor, main roofs, leaky roof. Furthermore, the home was built on a hillside lot, so it was a challenge to move vehicles. He pulled it off in stunning fashion. Now the home is on the market for $849. Okay. The 3-bedroom, 2-bath residence spans over 18 square feet. The interior is an open concept. The home is roomy. I'm gonna go quick because I want to get to the meat. In square foot primary room, the primary. Okay, talking about all the features. Describe
That thing's amazing.
You saw this?
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures you got on here. That thing's nice.
Yeah, it looks super nice. We'll look at the video in a bit. Messages from the description 4 feet upgraded. A lot of upgrades. Okay. Jones characterizes the home as a vibe of being like in the Lake Tahoe cabin, especially with all the original knowledge. The journey from dilapidated to marvelous took 6 months. 6 months of renovations and holding costs. You want to preserve the original architect. This one took extreme amount of work, he said. It had been neglected for many, many years, rotted floors, all that. It was a disaster. The cost of that adjusted dry rot was $270,000 for dry rot alone. Woo!
That is so crazy.
I bet you that has a lot to do with some of the deck too. Since it's on the hillside, which is the most I've ever seen. Yeah, that's a lot. 270,000. Is that a lot of dry rot, Charles?
No, that's ridiculous.
$270,000 worth of dry rot.
As a flipper myself, I'm thinking, is it just worth it to just demolish the whole entire
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Ground up? Oh my gosh.
Maybe he wanted to keep the original look.
Yeah,
I guess that depends on what they bought it for. Because he's going for, what is it, $849?
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
$100,000, and that's cool.
Yeah,
that's true too.
Out. Okay, so in the living room, the floor had 3 settled in 3 inches from the center of the
crazy.
edge. 3 inches? Oh, of settling? Oh yeah, that's a lot. That's crazy. If a typical homeowner were to go out and hire a contractor to do all the work, the retail cost for the renovation would be more than $400,000. Yeah. 3 big challenges. There were 3 big challenges. Working on the decks was very intense, yeah, because we had to build scaffolding to, I don't know how to pronounce that, to rebuild the decks in the way they were, because they were about 20 feet in the air. Yeah, I figured. Okay, due to the home being so far off the ground. Okay. So there were 2 exterior challenges. Leveling the floor was out of whack. We really had a lot of work to do. The carpenters took over a month to get this floor the way it is. Uncommon project snapped up the business for $353,000 according to public records there. Wait, he bought it for $353,000? Oh, I have no idea. There had been less than a handful of owners since the house was built in 1977. Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Okay, I'm curious. I want to look it up since it's in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Let's look it up. Oh, it's still on the market, y'all. It's been on the market for 16 days. Okay.
What is the list price, Chia? It's hard to see. It's so small.
$849.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this one, the editor did a good job. Gosh. Yeah, this one looks beautiful. Look at that view.
It's stunning.
Dude. Oh yeah, they did a good job. But I am. Oh shoot, I didn't even share it. My bad. I was gonna say it looks so nice, man. But we are actually interested in the public records of what they bought it for, right? So I'm interested to see with all the costs and everything. So they bought it in February.
Okay.
So you guys can see. They bought it in February for $300,000. No, $353,000. Wow, so there was competition.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the market for $300,000 and it sold for $353,000. So that means there was competition. Okay, it's competition, and then now it's on the market for 849,000. So $500,000 more on the market. But you know, with all that work being put in, that's like double his investment in this, basically over $300,000 worth of work. Like what he mentioned, right? On
Yeah.
this, yeah, he mentioned that he spent over this
Just
amount
270, 75 just for dry rot, right? I'm
just
doing the
for
math
dry rot, right?
now to see if it's worth it.
So that's just dry rot, but I think his overall cost was. Oh no, never mind. This is what he bought it for. Yeah. Okay.
353, right?
Yeah, he bought it for 353. All that work he put in, but that was just dry rot. That's not including the upgrades, the leveling. So
That
man,
was a risky one then. I mean, it's
I
beautiful
was
and
just gonna
everything.
say, yeah, like if you're looking at the numbers, I think the price he has it at right now, holding costs, all of that,
Yeah.
marketing, staging, because he definitely staged it.
Yeah.
He
Man,
said
I
something
think
about if he said that if it was done by regular contractors, it would have cost 400 grand. So he must have done it for cheaper than that.
possibly because he's a flipper, right? So he probably has his own guys and materials already buying it at wholesale. So it was probably still cheaper, but still, it's up
This
there though.
house, this house is
Yeah.
amazing. Like this house is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's freaking nice, dude. It's really
The
nice.
view just and they got these crazy pylons. Like these are like heavy duty pylons. Something you'd see like in the whole
Yeah.
entire underside is exposed. Like the whole underside is just open. And
Just
you got some ductwork under there, but these pylons are something you'd see out, you know, like in New Orleans or something like that, you know, so that they can have water run underneath if there's floods and whatnot. I mean, these are
Mm,
some massive pylons.
this is not typical flipping, you guys. Okay.
no,
Usually you'll see for the flipping houses and everything like that, they'll do it just enough so it looks nice enough. But this is like super creative.
they went all out. Yeah,
This is like more of a creative art
Yeah, look at
than
the underside of
what.
that thing. Like that's all
Yeah.
fully exposed. Like that's
Mhm.
crazy.
this is nice.
Mhm.
This is so nice.
You see how they
But
even pass through the roof? I mean, this is
Yeah.
some stuff right here.
I am surprised
so
they did this as a flip. Usually when people renovate it like this, it's for them.
Yeah, just keep it, right? I mean, I
Mhm.
wouldn't see a house like that. I wouldn't even want to leave, you know?
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm curious
that's
where exactly that is on the map. Because I can see there's like a bunch of trees and stuff,
Yeah.
but
this is
let's
how it
see
looked like
here.
before.
Oof.
Yeah, look at all that plywood.
Oh
And it has
no.
potential. I can see
No,
that. I
no.
can see that. But look at all of that dry rot. You can already see it in the
Oh
picture.
yeah, he transformed it. Oh my goodness.
They did, but from before, this house has really good bones.
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh
3 inch
yeah.
of settling?
Like look at all
Actually, yeah, you're right. Because it
look
looks
at all
like
that
they
wood that he didn't
preserved.
have to put in. I
Yeah,
thought
he
that he put
preserved a
all that
lot of the
in. He didn't have
ceiling.
to.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. Not seeing it this way now, there's a lot that was the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so here's what I want to see. They had over 11 offers when it came on the market. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, 11 offers when they went pending. And of course it was cash because it's not going to qualify. So
That is a beautiful Airbnb property.
you say you're interested to see where it's at. So there it is.
Yeah, it's smack dab right in the middle of like right over there by Sunrise and Fair Oaks and everything, and next to the American River. Like it's not really like deep or nothing. It's right off Fair Oaks and San Juan. It's just right there.
Mhm.
Well, definitely. This is a very nice home, for sure.
What's the list price again, Chia? It's so smart. I'm having a hard time seeing it.
Oh, it's 849.
849.
Address
849.
is 7605 South Cliff.
All
Okay,
really
so
felt like they could have went
assuming,
a little higher than that.
right? I mean,
I mean,
assuming he paid 300,000 for the renovation and, like you said, staging and all that other stuff, right? Bought it for 353, 300. It's the cost is 653. We're not even going to talk about holding costs. Let's just assume that they had their own money, do all of that stuff, selling it for 850. They'd get 197,000 in 6 months worth. Not bad.
yeah, it's a beautiful home.
I think it's
Beautiful.
fantastic to either Airbnb it out if they can,
If somebody
or
bought it, yeah.
yeah, or I don't know if you guys heard of PeerSpace. PeerSpace is kind of like you're renting it out just for people to do events and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yes, this is nice. I would Airbnb this, even though it's just
Hmm.
locally, just to get the
Yeah,
view and to enjoy it.
yeah. Hey, Chia, since you guys have done so much staging, right? There's a couple of people again that want to sell their home and everything, and right now we're so used to seeing homes on the market that is already beautifully staged for that presence. Do you stage homes for people who actually are still living in there?
Yes, we do. Which is really rare. We found out that a lot of stagers don't do that.
Of course, because wear and tear, people
Yep.
still have to sit.
Yep.
You never know because, especially homeowners that have children, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we still stage homes that are occupied just because again, it helps, and then some of our realtor partners that we partner with for the staging, they really need it. Because
Yeah,
I really believe that staging helps sells a home so much quicker and better.
yeah,
Because it just shows better, like man, sometimes whenever I bring buyers to go look at empty homes versus a stage home, they always say the same thing. Man, like staging makes a huge difference because it does.
Yeah.
That's
it
why
Definitely.
really
the
does.
model homes spend thousands and thousands of dollars on their model homes fully staged because they
Yeah,
want the prospect to walk in there and be like, wow, you know?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
I
So,
just did one the
Very
other day
visual.
that was occupied and staged, and you could tell, the bedroom. I think there was like two vacant rooms. This was like a four-bedroom, and the whole entire front area was all staged. And then, like part of the bedroom was staged, but like the main place he was living in was in the bedroom. So, but the whole front living room area was all staged. And I mean, it was like when I looked at the pictures online, I assumed it was staged because there really wasn't much. There was a couple of bedrooms that were empty, and like when you look at it, it looks like it's staged. But then I walked in and I started going around. I'm like, this is still occupied. Oh, and then they even staged the patio so that would look kind of nice too. They had the nice little patio furniture and all the decorations and stuff out there too. So yeah, I mean it totally looks staged.
yeah, staging helps a lot. And most of the time, what you're talking about, Charles, is called the focal point, which is the primary room, all the bathrooms, the kitchen, the living rooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's the focal point. Most of the time people go with that 'cause it's more affordable package and it's what people see, right? First impressions, the rooms, people could kind of imagine already how they're gonna deck it out. But the primary room and like the main focal point is really what draws people to the attention of details in the house and the layout. That's the most important is the layout. How are they gonna lay it out when they buy the home? So it helps buyers envision that a lot. So there's been so many times some homes will sit on the market and they will call us to go and stage and we'll stage it afterwards and then it'll be gone because now that agent calls the previous buyers that showed it before to go back and look at it. They go back and look at it and they're like, oh man, it looks so different now. Oh yeah, this is exactly how I would do my layout when I move in. And then they're really putting thoughts in their head that I'm moving in. I'm moving in. I'm doing this. So it helps so much.
Yeah.
So we have a home that we're destaging this week, and it was on the market for like I think a few months before we staged it. They couldn't sell it, and then they took it off the market. They called us to go stage it. Within 2 days, they got an offer just because it was staged and photography was redone. So it helps. And then the agent called us back and said, "Man, the staging helped so much. All the buyers that went and looked at it saw it again, and they're just like it just became a different home became a different listing for them, because
Yeah.
it really does. It changes the whole look. So if you're having issues selling your home and you priced it right, you did the marketing right, you did all that, but it's still not selling, maybe it just needs staging. Like even for occupied homes, like the reason why we do it, because sometimes, sellers, they put their homes on the market and they're occupying it, right? But their layout just needs like some finishing touches most of the time. And we'll move their furniture around and all of that, add decors, add photos and all that. And then sometimes sellers will say, man, this is not even my home anymore, and it does become a little emotional because then they're still living in the home and then we stage it. So then now they feel like, man, it's no longer their home, so it gets a little sentimental and emotional sometimes for some sellers. But it helps. Staging does help. Um, Shoot, we should talk about the hurricane, y'all.
Oh man, yeah.
Which one?
And well, both. The one in Florida recently and the one that went by North Carolina. That's crazy. That
Yeah,
is
Milton
so
was
crazy.
just a couple of days ago.
Milton, well, I know people that got hit by Milton, like the outskirts of it, and they're doing okay. But dude, North Carolina, how that hurricane just got redirected a different path, and then some some towns are gone. I was watching videos and I'm like, man, it's so crazy. And I was reading the comments, right? And like some of these comments are so ignorant. Like they shouldn't even be commenting at all, right? And it's just so sad how like out of every situation there's always gonna be trolls that's gonna try to build clout from commenting
Yeah.
and making things negative. Like there was this
Hmm.
comment I was reading on a video I was watching, and they're like, that's what y'all get for not leaving when the city got evacuated or whatever, things like that. And then people came and commented and said and responded and said they weren't supposed to get hit according to the news or etc. So because of that, many people couldn't evacuate in time. So then they're flooded. So it's just sad. It's just, man, it's so sad. It's crazy, 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 crazy. But I really do pray that everything works out and that a lot of the people that are missing, like they get found and they get more help sent to them. But it's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy last couple of weeks for the individuals over there that was part of those hurricanes. And man, like it I know it's not anything to like, joke about, but then like my wife will always be like, see, Chia, that's why we don't move to the East Coast. you know, she'll say things like that. Oh my
Honestly,
gosh.
my sister, that was one of the bigger reasons why my sister moved from Tennessee is because, and you figure, okay, Tennessee should be, pretty straightforward. But part of that hurricane went through that area, not in the area that she lives in, or that she lived in, but it was in that area. And they have all this crazy weather. I mean, we have rain here. Obviously, there's the concern about earthquakes, but there's so many things that happen over there on a regular basis that you have to be just uh, wary of and prepared for. So, yeah, I mean, everybody has their reasons for living where they live, and there's other, pluses for living there. And it's not like it hits every single place out there, but it's just kind of always on the back of your mind. I feel like if you live out there, oh, is there going to be a tornado over here? Am I going to get hit with this hurricane? Do we
Hmm.
have this crazy freeze warning? Am I going to get like, 10 feet of snow, all this other stuff?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, things like this do scare me. It makes me wonder, oh man, like I'm in California, good thing, right? So it makes me think about that because because it starts making you think about your family, how you want to protect them and all that, right? It just automatically puts you in that position. Um, but like, man, yeah, we don't have that over here, but we have earthquakes, right? And we have, and I was telling my wife, I'm like, what? We're like at the edge of California too, you know, like we're near that portion. Yeah, we're still far away. We're not like San Diego or LA close, but we're there too, you know, we're on the edge. So like you just never know. You just never know. You just can't take anything for granted.
Mm-mm.
But anything on your agenda today, Charles, that you want to talk about with everyone before we close out and
You
get
know,
sidetracked?
I want to talk about the same thing that I always talk about, and that's maintenance, right? Um, Home inspections and these all these inspections that we do, everything that we're looking for is you got really, two main things. You have whatever people have done in the past. These are the main things that come up, or maintenance items, things that people haven't done. So it's because you didn't do your maintenance, or it's because you made changes that you probably shouldn't have, or you did them, or you should have hired somebody to do it, kind of thing. But this time of year, I think the biggest thing for most homeowners is prepping for the winter months, prepping for the rain, prepping for, you know, the cold. And so with the cold, we have our friends that are outside, and they're making their homes outside. It's fine, the weather's great. But when it starts to get
Which
cold,
friends?
our furry, disgusting friends want to come into our homes and take advantage of the heat that we like to provide, right? So, by this, if you're not getting what I'm meaning by now, I'm talking about rodents, pests, any of these things that are going to be, coming into your home. So, this is a really good time to have somebody come out and take a look in your attic, have somebody come out and take a look at the exterior of your home, or even underneath the home, and take a look at what's called exclusion. And so exclusion would be blocking off any entry points into your home. Homes are made to be watertight. They are not necessarily made to be insect and rodent proof. There's sometimes underneath your eaves, there are voids and openings where rodents and birds and things like that can get into. And even over the years, you might have had some kind of installations done with, your satellite dish or your cable provider, internet, what have you, and they're not really in the position to really care about what they're doing. As long as they get the cable into your house, that's all that matters. So your roof vents, your crawl space vents, the vents on the side of your house, any of these small penetrations that are put into the side of your house, those are areas that these small insects and animals can make their way into. So if you have a roof vent or an eave vent that somebody's put a cable through or something like that, those openings need to be sealed off to prevent those animals and insects from getting in. And even if they haven't, just over the years, sometimes things break down and you have damage. So it's always a good idea. Get up in your attic if you feel inclined to do so. Take a look. Otherwise, hire somebody to do it. But the worst thing you want is to have an infestation because an animal thought that your house was a nice warm place to hang out for the winter. Your insulation, perfect place for those rodents to get in and burrow, make their nests. Same thing underneath your house. All those areas are out of the elements and the rain and all that. So it is absolutely a good idea to make sure that you get all of that stuff sealed off and make sure you're prepared for this cold and this winter. Another thing too is your gutters. A lot of people do not clean their gutters. When you think about what does a 5-gallon bucket of water weigh, right? If you ever have cleaned your gutters and you're scooping all that crap out of your gutters and sticking it into the bucket, just imagine how much a 5-gallon bucket weighs when you pick it up when it's full of water or paint. Okay. Your gutter system that spans your entire roof, it's not meant to hold water on a regular basis or debris, So that's when you're going to start having problems, when these things are going to start actually detaching from your house because of the weight. And that's just one aspect of what can happen. The other thing is if the water is constantly leaking and dripping over onto the wood members and your eaves, it's going to cause rot. It's going to cause damage. So don't put off that maintenance. The same way you're going to get up there and you saw when you put your Christmas lights up and you saw when you put your stuff on the gutter and all that junk was in there and you're like, man, I need to get to this. And that was last year. Do it now. get it done, and then get all that stuff taken care of, so that way you're not going to cause damage to your house and have to spend a bunch of money.
Maintenance, it ain't fun, but it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that rhymes. And with
I mean, my
that,
new
we're
slogan,
gonna.
Chia. That's my new slogan.
That's your new
It ain't
slogan.
fun, but it needs to get done. I'm stealing it, Chia. I'm stealing it.
Take it. Yours. All yours. Take it. All right, we're gonna close it out. Thanks everyone for watching, tuning in, questions. If you guys have other topics you guys want us to talk about in the future, shoot us a DM, let us know, or comment below. But with that, you guys enjoy your Friday, your weekend. We will see you guys next time. All right, peace out.